Okay, I'm so excited to be kicking off this business spotlight series. It's a chance for me to do mini readings for some people's businesses and to be able to show you what the energies look like in an actual person's business. So for today, we're kicking the series off with Libby Duffy, the Mompreneur Survival Guide, and we're going to be taking a look at the energies in her business name. To start us off, I actually looked at two charts for her. So I looked at her name, Libby Duffy, as business name, as well as Mompreneur Survival Guide. So it's very interesting the difference between these two. So for her name, Libby Duffy, we have in the foundation a 9-9, in the abilities a 7-7, and in success a 5-5. Now, if you saw my first post where I talked about how the business or how the numbers can affect businesses, I say right there, typically you do not want to have a 9 in the foundation because the 9s, again, are this really powerful number. It's having dragons up front. And for a lot of people, it's going to kind of overwhelm them. It's going to be something where they're just like, I'm not so sure. And they kind of run away. But in this case, having these 9s up here, I think actually do really work well for you, Libby, because you do talk about, being like, you're already like the CEO of your life and you use this sort of language. And CEOs are people who typically will have 9s in their charts. So the exception to the rule of don't have 9s actually is usually if you're working with like corporate clients, especially people who are high up in the corporate world, because they have their own dragons. And if you don't have dragons, they feel like they can walk all over you with their dragons. So you kind of need to have your dragons there to be like, nope, you're not going to be able to walk all over me. The other thing that I will say, because maybe you're not working with literal CEOs, right? But by having this 9 energy up front, one thing the 9 does is it catalyzes people. It will create change. And so you are really saying up front, I'm going to create change for you. And you know how there's some people, like they like the idea of change, but they don't actually want to change? This is going to turn those people off because they're like, oh, this is going to change me. And so what having this number up front does, even though again, it's not something I would recommend in most cases for people, it really does mean that people who are coming to work with you, they are ready for change because they know, they smell it, right? They know that you're going to be able to change them and they have come to you to really seek that change. So I think for yourself, where you're looking to be like, I want to work with people who are really ready to do the work, this number is going to bring those people forward because it's kind of pushing everybody else away. At the same time, you do have that very magnetic 7-7 in the abilities. And so this is helping to draw people in to kind of find that right audience, right? The people who are ready to do the work. And it means that in the abilities of what you can do, really some healing some heart wounds, which is really, really beautiful energy. So like healing some heart centers, healing in the heart space, bringing that forward, connecting to people on a heart-to-heart level. And in your success, you have these 5s. Now, again, a 5 is usually a number I would try to avoid in a business because it can niche your audience and it can also bring some ungrounded energy into the business, which usually you're going to want to avoid. But again, I think it's working for you in this case because you already have sort of niched your audience a little bit with the 9s, only people who are ready to do the work. And with the success of the 5s, with having 5s in success, 5 is Aries energy. So once again, it's all about bringing forward those people who are really ready to take charge and make that change, step forward, leap into the unknown. So it seems to be working for you, right? These are the sort of numbers that if I were naming someone's business, I'd be like, let's keep going. But it's also your name. Like, what are you going to do? Not use your name. So let's also take a look then at Mompreneur Survival Guide. So this has some very different energies. And these are the energies that I might recommend putting forward more often because it's not going to, be kind of keeping some of those people away like you have with the 9-9 and the 5-5. So up front, there's the 16-7. And if you saw my post talking about the difference between the 16-7 and the 7-7, then you know that the 16-7 for people spiritual journeys, it's bringing in people at the beginning of that journey, at the beginning of an awakening. And in general, whether they're spiritual or not, it's going to draw in people who are wanting things explained to them in plain English, if you will, in an easy and accessible way, because that's what you're going to bring forth to the table. You have then in the abilities of that number, of that business for the Mompreneur Survival Guide, in the abilities is a 10-1. This is very, very healing energy. It gives you the ability to really do deep healing for people. It also is the energy of, being of service. So you're showing really that you are here to be of service. And I love then that you have in the success an 8-8. And not only is that kind of helping to balance out the 5-5 in the success from your name as a business, the 8 is the most grounded number. So it's going to help to really ground in that kind of ungroundedness the 5 might be creating for you. But the reason I love this for you especially is because of the work that you do with regulating the nervous system. 8 is so fantastic anytime you're doing anything related to the body. So any type of body work, and I would really put nervous system regulation in that as well, because again, nervous system is our body. It is a perfect energy for that. So having the 8, it's all about helping people to get into their bodies. So it's serving you really, really well here. So I love the mix of these two energies. The one where when it's your name can maybe put some people off a little bit, but hey, that's great because the people who come through are ready to do the work. And then with your Mompreneur Survival Guide, it's this very like, hey, I'm going to make this easy for you. I'm going to explain it in a way that makes sense, in a way that is accessible. So for those who are just starting out, it can be a really, really great fit for them. It's also so much healing energy comes through here, as well as the groundedness and the body work. So I think this is such great, interesting energies. And I would love to hear more from you, Libby, about how this maybe shows up for you and your experience with clients and what you do. Thanks, and we're looking forward to joining me on the next one.